Hello everyone and welcome back to Seahawk Talk. I'm Kiely Callahan and I'm here with my co-host Jeremy Gutierrez. I'm a senior English communications major and a lacrosse goalie here on the team.
And I'm also a senior English communications major, and I'm part of the baseball team at Salve Virginia University. And I don't know if you guys could tell, but we have a new studio today. Let us know if you like it. Let us know if you'd like to go back to our old studio. Any suggestions are always welcome. So we have an exciting week of winter sports to break down. First, to start with men's basketball. This past Tuesday, the 16th, men's basketball had a win over Coast Guard. The score was 73-70. Mikey Spencer reached 1,000 points in this game. It was on a three-point shot, actually. It was with 10 minutes and 16 seconds left in the first half. Mikey Spencer, he's been really showing his three-point shot. He's a big man, a power forward center who can step behind the arc and knock down that shot. That's very valuable for Salve this year. On Saturday, the 20th, they had another win against Fisher College. The score was 103-76. Kevin Kiely reached 1,000 points in this game. Salve shot over 73% from the floor. Cameron Collins had 30 points and 10 rebounds, along with that, making that a double-double. And Salve is now 3-2 on the year, and they play Connecticut College Tuesday, the 23rd. Now, with these two scorers scoring 1,000 points, Salve now has 3 starters in their starting lineup who have scored 1,000 points. So that really shows their, how long they've had those players for. A good starting lineup. So for women's basketball, the Seahawks fell to UMass Dartmouth 76-47 in Wednesday's game. Junior Morgan Shuey and sophomore Brianna Neary both had 9 points each in this game. Neary also had 5 rebounds. UMass had 4 players scoring at double figures and also forced 27 turnovers. The Seahawks stayed close to UMass Dartmouth until UMass Dartmouth kind of pulled away, took the lead after the second half. The Seahawks took another loss against Clark University at home this past Saturday, which the score was 65-56, another close-fought game for the women's team. Shuey scored a game high of 14 points that game, along with 5 of them being in the first 10 minutes. After trailing, the Seahawks went on a 15-5 run to close out the gap to 30-29 at the half. Again, it was a very close-fought game all the way until the end when they just took the unfortunate loss. Ashley Rourke had 11 points and 5 rebounds. The Seahawks face Eastern Nazarene Sunday, the 27th, at home.
All right, now into some hockey. The men's hockey won 6-0 over Wentworth last Friday. Griffin Leonard had the first 2 goals, and the other goal scorers were Braden Paquette, Mitch Walensky, Seth Benson, and Oliver Warigna. Nicholas Latinovich had 22 saves and a shutout, 10 of those saves being in the third period, really coming up clutch and securing that shutout. And then the Seahawks lost to Wentworth 2-3 in a thrilling game. I had the pleasure of working that game, and it was tough fought. Wentworth picked up momentum after getting a penalty shot on an iffy call, and about 30 seconds after that, they scored another goal, really pulling the lead away. And then shortly after that, they scored a third, making it 3-0. But in the second half, Salve came back and scored 2 unanswered goals. The first one from Damon Zimmer with 17:53 left in the second, and the second goal came from Tyler Carangelo on a power play. The Seahawks, they couldn't seem to put the net in the back of the goal in the last 5 minutes, although they had a couple chances. But Zimmer won a game-high 17 faceoffs, which were instrumental in Salve's 2 goals, and Levi Mitchell had 16 saves in his first career start. For women's hockey, they won 6-3 over Assumption College on last Friday's game at home, and 6 different players scored, which including Jennifer Ricard, Jillian Egan, Bryn Mendez, Maddie Cox, and Emma Breen. Maddie Cox had a nice goal from right in front of the blue line, and Emma Breen actually scored on an empty net from the other side of the ice, which was pretty exciting. Then they lost on Saturday against Worcester State 2-1 in overtime. Emma Breen made a goal with about 6.5 minutes left in the third period, which forced it into overtime. and although they had possession for the first 2 minutes and 30 seconds, they couldn't seem to capitalize. And when Worcester State got the puck, they were able to finish it off quick. Maddie Jalbert had 25 saves, and Salve is set to face Wesleyan on Tuesday, the 23rd at home.
And that about wraps it up for our winter sports. Let's kick off to a quick break, and then we'll be right back with an interview.
Strides through center, picked off. Stolen away by Barker with a backhand shot, save made by Kopecky. Here comes Ricard, angling over the line right side, sprinting down, throws it on the goal, and she scores! Jennifer Ricard snipes it home from the right side, and the Seahawks tie the game. Lazar over the line right side with speed. Trying to carry, touches it in front, thrown on the goal, they score! Puck loose in front, collected and fired home by Jillian Egan, and the Seahawks have the lead. Porozinski looks to throw it on the cage, save made by Kopecky. Rebound loose, and she covers it up on the blue paint. Pulak up the right-hand side, shielding a defender, backhands it on the goal. Kopecky the save. Rebound into the corner. Mendez trying to come and get it, carrying strongly through the slot with a shot over the head of McDonough. They score! Mendez flicks it on the goal. It floats in the air, drops behind McDonough, and it's 3 unanswered for the Seahawks. Greyhounds win it, but McMahon hustles into the corner to win it back. Trying to cut middle now, on the wing right side. Seahawks with it all the way up top. Maddie Cox waits. Grissom on the goal, and she scores! Maddie Cox from the blue line, and the Seahawks retake the lead. Ricard turning into the slot, flips it towards the net, save made by McDonough. Puck still loose, backhand shot, score! Right off the draw. Greyhounds try to fire it on the goal, it goes wide. 10 seconds, Seahawks will send it down the ice, and they score on the open net. Emma Breen feeds it the length for a cherry on top for Salve. Seahawks control it, and the final seconds will tick off the clock. Seahawks will celebrate with Ellie Kopecky, and they will enjoy this one. A 6-3 final here tonight.
Welcome back, and thank you for sticking with us through the break. We're here today with Coach Corey Hughes and Morgan Shuey from the women's basketball team. We'll start with Morgan first. Tell us a little bit about yourself, when you started playing basketball.
Yeah, so I'm a junior from Corning, Iowa. I'm a healthcare administration student. It's a little bit about me at Salve. I'm also the vice president here of the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. So I take my role of being a Seahawk on and off the court very seriously and try to translate it from in the classroom and on the basketball court, as well as within the Salve community. So a little bit about how I began my basketball career is when I started playing at the age of 3. Professionally, getting into working as a student athlete began when I was in middle school, and then transitioning that into high school. I started looking at Salve when I was just a sophomore in high school. Coach Hughes had reached out to me. How I found Salve actually is that my basketball coach actually went here, and so he reached out to me and said, you know, this could be a possibility for you. I didn't really consider it until I started looking here, and then when I first stepped on campus, I fell in love, and yeah, I truly love being a Seahawk here, and Coach Hughes has made that experience one of a kind.
Wow. Yeah, I was going to ask, Iowa, correct?
Yeah.
So I was going to, you actually answered my question on how'd you find out about Salve being such a small school, you know, in the northern east, buried, you know. It's not a lot of people know about this school, especially from Iowa. So that's very interesting. So when did you decide you wanted to play basketball in college?
When I decided, it was probably when I was entering my sophomore year of high school. That's when I started really getting into the sport, as well as with my teammates, with my parents as well. They really influenced me to, you know, see that this could actually be a possibility for my future. And so I knew that becoming a student athlete, there were going to be high expectations. But I think considering my academic and athletic success in high school at a very young age, then I knew it could be definitely a possibility.
Good answer, Morgan. I'm gonna be in trouble.
All right. And now to coach.
Pressure now. After that, how am I gonna follow that?
Tell us maybe a little bit about your program, the type of players you like to recruit, along that kind of
I like to recruit Morgan Chewies. Student athletes that are serious about their academics and the sport that they play. I mean, you guys know you're Division III athletes. You know that you do it because you love it, and trying to find those kind of athletes that are going to be committed to both those things because they're both, you know, vital for their success. Morgan, I think, knows she probably won't be a professional basketball player, and so, you know, her academics are very important. And for our team, just like your teams, your academic success is really important to the coaching staff. I also look for kids that are competitive, you know, kids that are team players. I mean, the same kind of people that you like to play with, to be honest. I mean, we're trying to get kids that are going to be serious about the sport, that care about each other, and that want to win. Sometimes hard to find. I mean, all of us are looking for the same thing. And when I say all of us, I mean all of those coaches out there that are recruiting and trying to find kids that fit into their program. I was lucky enough that Morgan knew about us. Like you said, we're buried in a lot of ways. And it's funny, I do lectures. I go around and I do lectures in the summer a lot, and I've done a lot in Providence. And there are people at those lectures that don't know where Salt Lake Regina is. They're in Providence, like right down the road. So yeah, when you say that we're not known, you know, I think it's important that we get our name out there, and we get our name out there with student athletes like you guys doing the jobs that you do that say Salve across your chest. So yeah, it was a mouthful. Did I answer your question? I think I did.
Yeah, totally. Yes, great answer. All right, so has there been any highlights this season so far, on or off the court?
None.
Or,
No, I'm
none?
just kidding.
Or also, do you have any favorite memories here at Salve, or any specific milestones you would like to cover?
Well, I mean, there's been highlights of the season. I mean, our first game was our first win. That's always a highlight. There were things that we needed to work on, and we have worked on them, but the competition has it's gotten harder, you know, so that's shown, I think, in the results. We haven't been as successful since that first game. We're working towards that. Memories, geez, I mean, we've won conference championships since I've been here and gone to the NCAA tournament, so all of those teams are very memorable. A lot of 1,000-point scores. You know, you talked about the men's teams. We've certainly had a lot of those on the women's side as well, and seeing those individual successes is exciting. You know, actually afterwards, when these guys get older and they get married and I'm invited to their weddings and they have children, those are all highlights for me. I've been doing this a long time, so I've had a lot of that. As far as me individually, you know, anytime that we're able to be successful as a team and we get to cut the net down, you know, for me, those are huge milestones for me. You know, 100 wins, trying to get towards 200. That would be something that I would like to do. But for me, it's success in the conference, really, so that we can go on to the next level and see how we can do in the NCAA tournament. I mean, I think that's what we all want. And I think, you know, we have the potential of being a really good team. We just don't have a lot of experience right now. We're really, really young. I mean, Morgan's a junior, but we didn't have a season like a lot of, you know, both of you guys. I mean, when you don't get to play for a whole season, that really means she's a sophomore.
Yep.
Our only senior doesn't have a lot of playing experience, you know, so I mean, really, we have 2 sophomores that have a lot of playing experience, and everybody else is a freshman. And I think it shows when games are close. I think that we're not really sure how to win yet, but we're figuring it out, so stay tuned.
Especially when you face off against, you know, 5 teams that have redshirt, 5th-year red shirts.
Absolutely.
Due to COVID, and
Absolutely.
you guys don't have any red shirts, you know,
Absolutely.
any 5th years. So.
Yeah, it would have been nice for those seniors last year to have stuck around, but, you know, they're here to get an education and get a job, and both of them had jobs lined up. You get to stick around just to play basketball for one more year.
Yeah.
That would be great if you had a bunch of money that you were just going to.
Exactly. Yeah.
But yeah, they went on and they both are. One's a teacher in Providence, and the other one is a nurse, and I think she's in Connecticut, and they're both doing really well. And so you kind of can't ask them to stick around. But you're right.
Mhm.
Some of the teams that we played, you'll see senior, graduate student. You know, that experience shows. And if they were on teams that were successful, that is also a big, plus for them.
Yeah.
They already know how to win. So we're figuring it out, and I think that we're going to win a bunch of games, but we got to get these growing pains out first,
Mhm.
Yeah.
Come on, Morgan, you're a captain. Figure it out.
Do you have any, favorite memories here at Salve or highlights from the season?
I think just being able to get back on the court and play competitively is just a huge step in the right direction for us. I mean, not having last year, as Coach said, it was a good growing experience for from an individual and team standpoint, growing on those certain levels. So you're getting ready to have competitiveness seasons like this year. And so I think just being able to be back on the court is great, and we're all excited. We're looking forward to turning the season around and having a great start from here. So definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah. And do either of you have like a pregame ritual you always go to? Any superstitions or anything like that?
I mean, I do, but I'll let you go first.
So I guess I can talk about Sammy, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Talk about Sammy.
So the day of practice before one of our games, we'll all meet in the middle. We call it Sammy, around the center of the court, and we share just one good thing that's been happening to us throughout the week or throughout the day or what we're excited for. And I think it's just a great Salve tradition that we have for the women's basketball team, because just brings some positive energy into the group, and then also just we look forward to competing at the following day. So
Yeah,
I really like that.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
yeah.
And I noticed too that often, some of their best things are like chicken nugget day, and it's always food. Like, why is it always food with you guys? It's like their best part of their week is like that they have chicken nuggets. I'm like, wow, you guys got to get out more or something. But
That's the best day of the dining hall. Chicken nugget Friday, yeah.
but they talk about it a lot, so I guess it must be fantastic. For me, I like the quote. We also do a quote. So every game's it rotates, and somebody on the team or the coaching staff has to pick a quote. And then after we talk to Sammy, that individual will read the quote and then say why they picked it, and then we hang it in the locker room for the game, and they all read it before the game to be reminded of it. And I think that's a good tradition. And personally, this is like very weird. People are gonna be like, "What is wrong with her?" But I had heard once when I was a kid that sometimes the flag won't have 50 stars. That it will be like some kind of like knockoff flag, and there might not be 50 stars. And so one day I counted. I just wanted to see, and we won. And so I was like, now I have to count every time. Every time, if I'm in a place where I can see the flag, I count the stars and stripes during the national anthem. I just think it's good luck. I know we've lost a couple games. Maybe I should stop doing
Maybe
that.
I'll start doing it.
But yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah, those are great superstitions.
Yeah, yeah. I said they work. We'll see.
Well, that about wraps it up for us. Thank you guys so much for your time,
Of course.
and good luck for the rest of your season.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot.
All right, well, we'll go to a commercial break. See you guys soon. Jody Meridian, who is our athletic director, and our assistant athletic director, Derek Grinken. Welcome both of you guys. Thank you for having us.
Oh, this is great. Thanks.
In today's episode, we'll be talking about our international student athletes. Hockey, our men's ice hockey team has 18 players from Canada, and the rest of our international students are on teams including soccer, basketball, cross country, football, and sailing. And actually, currently, all of our international students are males. Last year, we did have a female hockey player from England, but currently they're all males. So what's the process like bringing in athletes from all over the world?
Well, I think that coaches are recruiting everywhere. And since the world's so connected, you can actually watch student athletes, they can watch our teams, and they can see Salve virtually. So it's really been a benefit to the teams, and hopefully the connections with those countries will just grow, because it brings a different and special diversity to Salve Regina, and especially to athletics. So it's been great. And Derek can speak even about from coaching side.
From
every side.
Yeah, every side. Coaching, I mean, the international players that we have on the football team are just great kids, and it's really a testament to the coaches of bringing them in and everything like that. So it is nice.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And what's the process like bringing in these athletes from all over the world? You touched on a little bit more the technical side that helps. Are there any other really aspects to it?
I think that like we just assume it's smooth sailing coming in, and when you're international, especially in the last couple of years, there have been a lot of hurdles that they had to go through, and even we think Canada is one of our, is our closest neighbor, and we usually go back and forth, but they haven't been able to just go back and forth. Like, it's been a long time before parents could come watch the hockey players from Canada, and so it's a different world in that part, and they've had to stay longer, I think. People aren't going back and forth for vacations and things like that. So that part's been interesting for them.
Yeah.
And obviously due to COVID, a lot of the hockey players never even saw the school before coming here. I guess maybe Derek, you can tell us from a coach's perspective how COVID has affected the recruiting, especially from international students. And
Yeah. You don't even realize now the hurdles that coaches have to jump through. I mean, the rental cars are all backed up, so it's more visual, more online than ever before. So schools don't even want you to come in, basically. So you're going through the coaches to get to the student athlete, all through via Zoom. So.
Yeah. And I think that it's interesting, and that's why we want to recognize them, because it is unique for them. They've gone through a lot more, but thankfully Salve's kind of beautiful. So when things are virtual, you can show them a lot of good things. And actually, like you two doing this, having this platform helps recruit internationals, because we stream games, we have SeahawkTalk, so it's a better connection with families at home, especially during COVID when people couldn't come back and forth as easily.
Yeah, totally. You want to spread the name as much as possible, especially with a small school like us. Growing every year since I've been here, at least.
Yeah. Oh, it must be you. Thank you very much.
How's it been now that we have like fans and parents starting to come back to the games, and like the atmosphere now that we have spectators?
So nice to have them, but again, it's just extra things. But I've never seen our student athletes. Last year obviously was hard for everybody, and you didn't know if you were going to play or not play, even if you had seasons in the spring. So this year, just when students knew parents were coming, I've never seen people just look happier, like they're going to be able to see me. And then we have a few little extra steps, masking indoors at Salve, and then hockey at St. George's, you have to be fully vaccinated. So we're checking vaccination cards. So those are things none of us would have thought of before. Football and outdoor sports for the fall were easier because we were outdoors, but it's been more of a challenge for indoor sports.
Definitely. The atmosphere now, the energy with all the student athletes and everyone back on campus supporting each other is something really nice.
And even like the first years all came to men's soccer, one of the first games, and that was one of the best atmospheres that I've ever seen. They were just so excited to be at Salve, so excited to be around people,
Yeah.
and so that part's been great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're excited to see the athletics revamp after COVID again. What are you looking forward to most about the dinner tonight at Sardelleo's honoring the international student athletes?
Well, we wanted to do it. Derek and I had been talking, and one thing is they do have unique challenges. So even things as small as I said to some group, we're going to do this dinner the week of Thanksgiving, and they're like, when's Thanksgiving here? Like, they already had theirs in Canada. So we were trying to think of a good way to get them together, recognize them and let them know we appreciate them. But also they have unique things as international, so they can spend more time together.
Totally. Yeah, and totally. They sure bond together.
Yeah.
It's good for the team.
Yeah.
All right, well, that about wraps it up for our interview. Thank you guys so much for coming out
Oh,
and spending your time.
Anytime. Thanks for
Thanks.
doing this. It's really nice.
Yeah, of course.
it's great.
Thank you for the new setup is amazing too. It helps with the show a lot. All right, well, we'll go to a commercial break and we'll be right back.
Best music compilation.
And that about wraps it up this week for us on Seahawk Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in, and thank you so much for all of our guests we had on this week. Don't forget to tune in next week for our show, which is also Monday at 5 p.m. And signing off myself is Jeremy Gutierrez, along with my co-host Kylie Callahan. And keep on flying, Seahawks.